What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. This is the return of Baten Kaitos. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Kaitos, whatever. This is Baten Kaitos 2, otherwise known as Baten Kaitos Origins. And the song is called La Ali del Principio. Sounds... I was going to say Italian, but then I just realized the requester wrote that it's in Italian. Not sure what that means. Principal something. Anyways, so from what I'm told, that this is Motoi Sakuraba, someone I'm becoming a fan of lately. Lyrics from his wife, and the song is sung by their daughter. That is keeping it in the family. So, as far as I know, which is not saying much, I don't know if I've heard any Motoi Sakuraba music with vocals in it. And to be totally honest, I don't even remember what Baten Kaitos sounds like. It's been a long time. So, cool. La Ali del Principio, requested by Magnus. Let's go. The violin. The wings of Principio. Sounds like a religious hymn. Sounds intimidating. Oh, nice little fade out. A couple things to note here. This is a different kind of what I would consider like a beautiful song, where I am aware that the song is very gorgeous and pretty, and you know, but it brings a mood that is meant to have one purpose, and that is to feed the moment that it's playing in. So for me, I got a not a setting per se, but more of a, I guess, a vision. I imagined very, and I'm only saying this because of the vocal, but it sounded like kind of a church choir, even though it was one kid. But that sort of cadence with the vocal, big, long, open notes, and I kept imagining like not a church per se, but like stained glass and like a light coming through it, that kind of thing. Ascension sounds not sad, maybe a little hopeful, but it sounds kind of scary as well. A lot of songs that have that sort of church choir type sound always kind of make me uneasy. I'm not really sure why, but they just have this sort of haunting feel to them. For example, like I would not want to hear that in a barren building at night, that type of thing. It would freak me the hell out. Even though it's pretty. So now, as far as the whole context, which is interesting because usually I have zero context, but the context was provided, and that's the whole the composer's wife and the daughter. For one, let's talk about the composer. As far as I know, everything I've heard, I think, from Moony has been a little on the prog side, a little prog, lots of organs and pretty cool synthesizers and pretty gnarly beats. I don't know if I have heard a ballad from him until now. Maybe. I have heard Baten Kaitos before. Again, I don't remember what that sounds like. And I don't know if he was the composer for those as well. It wasn't until very recently that I started like knowing who he was from like Star Ocean and other games. Apparently he's everywhere. So I'm going to have to check out those older Baten Kaitos songs. But as far as I'm aware at this moment, I don't think I've heard any sort of slow stuff by him. So it's nice that he has that spectrum though, because this is done really, really well. And I would never even, for example, what I'm trying to say is the last time I heard this composer, I was able to spot him. Blind, I was like, this sounds like him, and it was him. I was proud of myself. This one I would have had no idea. And nothing wrong with that, but this one's a little more it could be anyone really. It's a little more open-ended when it's that wide of a song, whereas everything's just heavy reverb and slow, melancholy stuff. Nothing wrong with it. Just I wouldn't expect that to be him. Now, as far as the whole like keeping in the family part, that is also very curious as to why. What would possess them to do that besides just variety, just a cool idea, like, hey, why not? Let's do this. Or is it like a direct correlation with the story, with the whole father, mother, daughter thing? It could be completely random, or it could be like right on cue. I don't think there's any gray area there, so I'm very curious on that. Lyrics by the wife, which is cool. I wonder if she's like a known artist or just his wife. Sung by the daughter, very impressive. I would assume somewhere along the lanes of maybe age-wise, she sounded kind of from about 8 to 16. I don't know, it's a pretty big window, but very, childlike vocal. Very nice. Violins, that was really nice too. What else did I write here? Oh, I looked it up in the middle of it. And again, I speak Spanish, so I can kind of like see some words in Italian and kind of see what they mean. I don't know what Ali meant in this one. In this case, it's wing. Where in Spanish it'd be ala or alas. So pretty close. So it was the wing of Principal. Although I'm not sure if in this title if Ali's plural, so if it's the wings is the Principal, but I think the proper term is the wing of Principal. Again, another kind of title like, what does that mean? You know, one thing I noticed, I'm aware that this requester is a fan of the Nier series, because every time I had anything Nier related on the channel, I would see them pop up. And not to say that this sounds like Nier at all, but there was one kind of little nugget that made me think of it, and that's the childlike vocal when I think of songs that relate to Emil, like Sacrifice. Which at first, for the longest time, I thought it was him, and I think it's supposed to be him. To be totally honest, not to deviate the conversation, but I've never got an answer to that. I don't know if like Emil's songs are supposed to be like in first person, because the voice is completely different. They only have that vocalist for Emil's songs, and I'm pretty sure it's not the same voice actress for the singer, but it has that sort of like kind of sound of sad, but it's like a childlike vocal. So I could see the kind of easy transition from Baten Kaitos to Nier, or vice versa, because I can hear that. Also, that's one of my favorite songs is Emil Sacrifice. So the one thing I do recall, and this is a big maybe, I think, if it's the one I'm thinking, I think Baten Kaitos is the one game, and the only reason I know this is because it sounded so unique when I heard it, but I think Baten Kaitos is the game where it's like a world builder. I think at first I thought it was an RPG, and it could still be. I might be confusing it with something else. But I heard the word Baten Kaitos recently, and I saw some footage, and it was not what I was expecting. Excuse me. Where it was like just world building and just completely not what I thought of. So that combined with the composer, combined with the way that sounded, and the name of the song, I'm totally lost as to what's happening. And plus, I think it sounds like part of a cathedral. So nothing really here is connecting as far as like my imagination, but that's just how I reacted to it. And it was really cool though, because it's nice to know that at this stage of the auditorium, I can now recognize, quote unquote, some composers about what they sound. And then when I hear something that's not like them at all, it still keeps it fresh, and I don't have to fall into this, oh, well, it's another, Motoy song or something like that. This is the kind of stuff I really like, because I have no idea where it's going to go. So, good stuff. The Wings of Principal, or the Wing of Principal, let me know. Let me know all those questions that I asked. And, yeah, I think I did say that 2 and Origins is the same game, according to the wiki. Anyways, thank you, Magnus, for the request, and thanks to you for watching. Thanks to everyone that you see here. I cannot be here without them. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. I will see you all later. Have a good night.